Okay, so I know a lot of people like to hate on quite a bit of things in Dragon Ball Super, but the latest canon series in the franchise brought us a ton of cool new characters like Jiren, Hit, and one of my personal favorites, Goku Black. 130 plus episodes definitely flew by at the speed of light, and when I look back, I really don't think we kind of appreciated Super like we should have while it was here, but once it was gone for a while, I think it got a ton more love because we actually had time to miss it. Among a lot of the highs and lows throughout the duration of Super, there were a handful of moments and characters that specifically piqued my interest, and just off of the mystique of his position alone, maybe no one made me more curious about them than the Grand Priest himself. Named one of the top 5 most powerful beings in the whole multiverse, the Grand Priest has always had this prestige about him as he was introduced as a close advisor to the Omni King and the one to father the angels like Whis and Vados. When we first met him, we knew so little about the guy that there were so many rumors floating around basically until the conclusion of Super about him, one of the most popular being that he was actually evil and had some master plan for the end of the tournament, but that wasn't the case. Even though he has been named one of the most powerful beings in existence, we still haven't had the pleasure of seeing him in action yet, until today that is. Thanks to UHG Animations, we're able to see just how it would have played out if the Grand Priest did have different plans and actually decided to attack Goku and Jiren at the end of the Tournament of Power. Just what would have happened if the two seemingly strongest mortal fighters were forced to challenge the right hand of the Omni King himself to avoid total erasure, or even worse, as the Grand Priest has to possess powers we can't even really fathom right now. If you guys want to check out the original animation for yourselves, UHG's channel will be linked down below. Be sure to turn on the notification bell to never miss an upload, and consider following me on Twitter as well to keep up to date with all Dragon Ball related content. But before we get started, I just want to take the time to thank our very special sponsor for today's video, Kurtzspell. Now, as a lot of you guys may or may not already know, Kurtzspell is an anime-styled third-person action game, and in the coming updates, we'll introduce Lime, the Sacred Guardian Karma. Karma being an alternative word for character. Players will receive a 50% boost to CP and AP gain to celebrate the release of Lime. The third and final Elthica Proving Ground, which will be used to test and balance and also showcase Lime, is set to start on the following times shown on screen. If you guys want to check out this awesome one-of-a-kind anime game for yourselves, the link will be down in the description box below as always. Thanks once again to KOG Games and the amazing team behind Kurtzspell for sponsoring this video. But without further ado,
I got swords on my back, samurai. Ninjas with me, niggas going stars at these bitches. Eating ramen noodles in the hood with my niggas.
so let's place ourselves near the conclusion of the Tournament of Power. For this scenario to make sense, Jiren and Goku would have to be the final 2 fighters left standing in the tournament, so this would mean that both Frieza and Android 17 would have had to have been eliminated prior. Goku, preparing for the battle, starts approaching the Grand Priest alongside Jiren, and first he transforms into Super Saiyan Blue. After a short stare down, Goku makes the first move as he charges in and tries to punch the Grand Priest, but this is the first instance we actually see some of the Grand Priest's power, as he effortlessly just makes a barrier with one hand that absorbs all of Goku's attacks. After Goku is sent flying, it's Jiren's turn now as he steps in to see if he can land some type of attack, if any at all, on the Grand Angel, but when his fist is stopped in its tracks, the Grand Priest shows an incredible amount of strength when we see him force Jiren to the ground, grabbed by the face. As of right now, Goku and Jiren are looking like no match for the Angel, and honestly, this is to be expected from one of the top 5 strongest in existence, but there's still a certain avenue that has yet to be approached. From the rubble, Goku erupts in a white aura as his hair and eyebrows turn that legendary shade of silver, indicating that Ultra Instinct Goku has made his arrival. When his transformation is complete, Goku launches a devastating Limit Breaker Kamehameha with all of his might, hoping to end the battle swiftly, but the Grand Priest is unfazed, and not only is he unfazed, he's just standing in the middle of it, completely ignoring the attack. Goku forces all of his power into this attack as the Grand Priest just eats it like it's nothing, and after the attack is over, we see Goku pretty exhausted but still surprisingly able to keep up the Ultra Instinct transformation. So far, this whole battle, Goku and Jiren have been fighting their hearts out, hoping to find some kind any kind of angle to even damage the Grand Priest, while the Angel has done less than put in effort into this fight. But it's not long after when he decides to go on the offensive and makes a move. He launches what looks really similar to Beerus' Sphere of Destruction attack, but more than likely on a much larger scale directly at the two remaining warriors as they both charge in to deflect it. When the explosion clears, we see that Goku has taken a bit of damage himself, but Jiren seems to be maybe a bit worse off, although they aren't anywhere near done yet. Finally deciding to stop attacking separately, they team up on their opponent who still has yet to break a sweat, but he humors them. Jiren begins to power up to full strength as he launches Goku, who is ready to pull out all of the stops towards the Grand Priest with an Ultra Instinct Dragon Fist, one of his most lethal attacks. Now, I personally have never seen an Ultra Instinct Dragon Fist like this before, but if it's anything relative to his predecessors like we've seen in shows like GT and some of the movies, then this could be devastating. At first, the Grand Priest looks pretty surprised that Goku could manifest such an attack, as this is pretty impressive even to him, but in a matter of milliseconds we can see that the Grand Priest was able to get his barrier up just before the attack connected, and when the smoke clears, Goku has been stopped in his tracks and gets stunned with a vicious kick to the stomach. For as long as we've known him, Goku is always in some shape, form, or fashion triumph over his opponent in the end and saving his friends. With his current absolute limit that we know of being Mastered Ultra Instinct, however, being pushed beyond that may even look impossible right now to a lot of people, but it was explained that Ultra Instinct, being a technique and a state of mind more than a transformation, makes future ascension regarding Goku extremely ambiguous. We see an example of the potential of this plot point as we cut back to Goku smiling as the smoke clears around him, and it seems like he's up to something. He clenches his fists as every muscle in his body begins to tense, and by the looks on the Grand Priest's face, it's very apparent that Goku has a secret, but up until now, the Grand Priest has barely been touched. As Goku's power begins to grow at an abnormally exponential level, things start to go in quite a unique way, as Goku, who is already in his Mastered Ultra Instinct form, is seemingly going through the transitions of Super Saiyan simultaneously in order to achieve a new, even more distinct source of power. Goku is going off the deep end with this one, as not only does he harness the powers of Super Saiyan at the same time, but his hair begins to elongate as well. All over, the fabric of reality is being stretched as Goku's presence begins to shatter the very place they just held a multiverse tournament in by itself. From the Grand Priest to Beerus, and even the two Zeno's jaws drop at the display Goku is putting on. When his transformation is complete, we can see by the elongated hair and the eyebrows that have turned into pure muscle, the sparkling white aura. Ultra Instinct Super Saiyan 3 Goku has been born before our very eyes. Seeing Goku mix the technique-turned form of Ultra Instinct that requires such a pristine state of mind and effortless movement of the body along with the raw and ever-growing power of Super Saiyan was definitely a little weird, but definitely one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. This actually does raise a question in my mind, however, that I'm not sure if anybody has considered yet. I'm fairly certain we can all agree that instances of Ultra Instinct are of course stronger than Ultimate Gohan, but if the old Kai was confident enough in his training technique as well as Gohan's potential to where he told him he really wouldn't even need Super Saiyan anymore, then would that be the same for Goku? Due to the constant power creep in Dragon Ball, we've seen a few forms become pretty obsolete and some are definitely a lot more useful than others, but if Goku was able to master Ultra Instinct at will completely, then what use would he have for really any of his Super Saiyan forms, not to mention whatever Vegeta is learning about spirit control and how to apply that. Whatever the case may be, when Dragon Ball Super returns, the Grand Priest is definitely a guy I want to see more of down the road, as I feel like he was hyped up, maybe not overly aggressively, but enough to make you curious, so I want to see some sort of plot surrounding him again in the future. But one thing is for certain, his reputation as the most trusted advisor of the Omni King, overseer of all things, will always make an appearance by him desirable. That's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching the video until the end if you made it this far. As always, huge shout outs to UHG Animations and everyone that worked on this amazing fan project for all of their hard work on this and everything else that they've done. Like I said in the beginning, you guys really should go over and check out all of their original animations yourself if you enjoyed what we talked about here today. The link will be down in the description box as always. I want to know what you guys think about my little theory, if you want to call it that, at the end of the video pertaining to the other transformations once Goku masters Ultra Instinct. As we've already seen, forms like Super Saiyan 3 really aren't that necessary anymore, and that one in particular, since it's so stressful on the body, really, I mean, Goku doesn't use it, and really I don't even think anyone wants to use it besides, I guess, Goten and Trunks when they fuse, but I really don't see a point for Goku or Vegeta to go through 10 to 15 different forms every fight, so I feel like even more are about to become obsolete, or some might even be mixed in order to return, kinda like Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue. Anyways, if you guys were interested, don't forget to check out the link down below as well to download Kurtspell, and be sure to click the notification bell down below as well to never miss an upload again. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.